Well, Chris, I don't know if I have any questions that you haven't already answered over the course of the last week, but I'm going to go with a pretty difficult one to start with. Can you sum up your emotions over the course of the last 7 days?
No, probably not. Not in the way that I would probably like to, but I think it's just been overwhelming at times, to be honest. It's probably the best way I could put it. There's just been an outpouring of emotions from supporters, from players, from staff, from our group, everyone, and rightly so. It's been a long time coming, 45 years in the making, so it's just right. It's only right that we celebrate this and we appreciate the moment, and we squeeze every drop out of it, because it's historic, and all of the people involved with this football club completely deserve it.
And it's a bit of a cliche that players always say that big achievements don't necessarily sink in straight away, they can take a wee while. Is it fair to say the enormity of what has happened at the club in the last couple of weeks, it potentially will be 10, 20 years down the line before the real true magnificence or significance of it really hits home with players?
I think so, but hopefully not, because if we're saying that in 10, 20 years time the significance of it sinks in, then I suppose that means potentially that the club hasn't had that sort of same level of success in those years, and I don't want that to be the case. I'm hoping that the weekend that's passed is the start for this group and not the end. I'm hoping that there can be a sustained period of success for these players, for this group, for the staff, and for this support, because that's what people involved with this football club deserve. So that's what I'm really truly hoping, is that this can be the platform for better things to come, and for more success, rather than us looking back and talking about the cup win of 2024. I'm hoping that there's a few more in the next few years to come, because nobody wants another 45-year wait.
On the basis that Joe Gormley escaped for a few years and didn't have to sit through a few seasons of Irish Cup misery, you're the longest serving continuous player here. When Ronan Hale's running clear with an open goal, there's a video that shows you attempting to sort of chase after him during the celebrations and then just breaking off and heading towards the north stand. It's almost like you wanted to share the moment with supporters.
Yeah, it's probably two things. First of all, I probably just didn't think I could get as far as Ronan, and I'd only been on the pitch for maybe half an hour or so. But yeah, it was just raw emotion, and just gratitude and relief and everything. I just can't even sum up that feeling in that moment, and to look up at a large volume of Cliftonville supporters who were absolutely losing it. It was just the best moment that you could hope for it to be in that moment, and to just see it, and to live it, and to know that you were there. It was incredible. I couldn't have asked for any more, really.
I don't know, people will look back at your career and talk about Cliftonville, a career in solitude that started with a league title win and ended with an Irish Cup win. But let's not forget, prior to that, you're on the books of Manchester United as well, part of a very, very good and highly remembered and celebrated Ballinamallard United team as well. So your career as a collective must be something you're very proud of.
It is. And it's funny, actually, because I suppose a lot of the best moments have been looking up at that stand. Ballinamallard, we beat Linfield at Windsor. We had a great season, that opening season in the Premiership, and some people can forget that. I think we might have finished even as high as 5th, and I remember scoring and looking up at that same stand, and my parents were sitting there as Ballinamallard supporters at the time, before they became Cliftonville supporters, and the year after I'd signed for Cliftonville, and we had some great days at Windsor. We beat them, I think, 3-1 and 4-2 that season, the 3-1 victory being a huge one in the run into the second league title. So we've had great days there, but I've been just blessed, really, blessed to have great teammates, to be part of great teams. Ballinamallard, we had an unbelievable time, great memories, getting promoted and having that season, and then Cliftonville, the first season, you literally couldn't ask for any more than being a league champion among a group of players that were just top level. One of the best, maybe, Irish league teams, potentially one of the best, if not the best, Cliftonville team that was ever assembled. And then last week, you couldn't really ask for more. It was the cherry on top of the cake to go and win that.
Another thing people don't necessarily remember is you were part of the Ballymolloy team on the day that Cliftonville were presented with the title in 2013. So in a way, you've sort of been part of all of the big moments at the club over the last 11, 12 years, whether you wanted to be or not.
Yeah, I suppose you could put it that way. That day was, I can't even remember the result now, to be honest, but it did sort of stick in my memory. We sat on the pitch and we watched Cliftonville celebrate their first league title, and just to see what it meant to people, to see what it meant to supporters after such a long period of time. Was it since '98 they hadn't won it? So it did stick in the memory, and it sort of came back to me a few months later when I answered a very special phone call. And so these things, I don't know, it's just, you do start to think that it's maybe fate, or there's something underlying it all, that it all seems to come together and create something really special. And again, it's just part of my, I suppose, special journey with this football club.
I don't know if you're necessarily psychologically ready to refer to yourself as a former footballer just yet, but you have a lot to look forward to. You have a big summer ahead, personally.
Yeah, you're probably right. I probably will need to take stock, and I'm sure the realisation will hit me at some point that it's over. But that's a decision I've made, and it's not an easy decision, but I'm comfortable with it. But when that day comes, I'm sure I'll think back about all of the great times that I've had here, and all of the special people that I've come into contact with, created really special bonds with teammates, staff, supporters, everyone. But for now, I have enough distractions to keep me busy. I have a stag, a wedding, a few weddings. A few of my teammates are getting married. I'm going to go to their weddings, a honeymoon, and yeah, we're planning on going travelling and taking a bit of a career break in the very near future as well. So it's all good.
And all those stag do's and wedding days are almost like an elongated farewell party for you.
It is. The last week's been very special. A lot of people have said, incredible things over the last number of days in terms of saying thank you and saying their goodbyes and things. But it does, like you say, it gives me the opportunity to say goodbye to a few people in a very special way. So I'm really grateful for that.